Hi, my name is Chantel Delaney. I'm a certified herbal practitioner and the product educator for M Squared. And today, in this video, we are going to talk about mineral sunscreens. We're going to debunk a few myths around sunscreen as well. And I'm going to tell you what to look for when buying sunscreen, which ones I love, and why it's super important that you make the switch to mineral sunscreen from conventional sunscreen, otherwise known as chemical sunscreen, not only for your health, but for everyone around you and the environment too. So before I get into my favorite sun care products and why, I want to talk about oxybenzone. So oxybenzone is the most concerning ingredient that is found in sunscreen. Odds are, if you've got a conventional sunscreen, if you have a look, it's the active ingredient right on there. So oxybenzone is very concerning. In fact, sunscreens that contain it are banned in many areas around the world, areas that tend to be environmentally sensitive because of its negative effects on marine life, like sea turtles, and on corals. So places like Hawaii, Key West, and Palau have all banned the use of chemical sunscreens because of the overwhelming evidence that it is contributing to the death of coral reefs, or what's called coral bleaching. So the fact that there is a ban at all where it's been legalized really shows us the seriousness of these chemicals' effects, and it shows us that there's enough evidence for these places to take this major action to stop that environmental damage. Or at least slow that environmental damage. So this information is important for all of us to consider, including those of us that are landlocked as well, because while these studies are done on ocean life and coral reefs because they're the most at risk, these chemicals affect our rivers and lakes and streams and aquatic life inland as well. Avobenzone, octinoxate, and octocrylene are other ingredients of concern that are commonly found in your sunscreen, but they have not been the focus of the studies on these environmental concerns as much as oxybenzone has been. So we have a lot more evidence to show us the dangers of oxybenzone than we do these other ingredients. So since sunscreen is the number one defense against skin cancer, as well as the signs of aging, skin cancer, of course, being one of the most, if not the most common cancer that occurs, we need to consider the components of sunscreen very carefully. So this doesn't mean that we shouldn't be using sunscreen at all. It means that we should be looking at which sunscreens we are using and choosing the ones that protect us and do not do damage to the environment. So let's talk about what you should look for when you're purchasing a sunscreen. So first off, there are two kinds of sunscreen. There's chemical sunscreen and there's mineral sunscreen. So mineral sunscreens use zinc oxide and or titanium dioxide as their active ingredient. So these compounds are minerals that are non-nano, which means that the particle size of them is too large to pass into the skin and the bloodstream. So they are literally designed to coat and sit on the surface of your skin to block UVA and UVB rays from damaging and burning your skin. Chemical sunscreens, which is your typical from the pharmacy or from the grocery store or whatever sunscreen, your conventional sunscreens, they are called chemical sunscreens because they use chemical filters. So that's your oxybenzone or your avobenzone or your octinoxate. So those are chemicals that block UVA and UVB rays from within the top layer of your skin. So they are actually designed to penetrate the skin just a little bit, to soak into the skin and to block UV rays from inside. So many studies have shown that they do actually penetrate the skin a little deeper than we would like. There were quite a few studies that came out in the last 3 or 4 years showing that after the first application that there was traces of oxybenzone in the bloodstream. You can look up those studies online and go have a look. So there's a lot of evidence to show that it doesn't just stay in the skin, but it actually goes a lot deeper than that. So why is oxybenzone so bad? So as I was just saying, it enters the bloodstream readily, 50 to 100% more than other chemical filters that are used in conventional sunscreen. It's what we call an endocrine disrupting chemical, so that means that it affects hormone production. That's why it's especially important not to use it on children whose skin is thinner, so they tend to absorb a lot more and a lot deeper into the skin and the body, anything that's applied on the skin. Oxybenzone is also a developmental and a reproductive toxin. In fact, there was a study done in Switzerland some time ago that found oxybenzone in 85% of the breast milk samples that they collected across the country. So that really is suggesting that's bioaccumulating, that it's staying in the body and staying in the fat in the body. Oxybenzone is also one of the most common contact allergens. So people that experience rashes, redness, or prickly skin from sunscreen are most likely reacting to the oxybenzone. And most importantly, it's an environmental toxin. I think that is the kind of crown jewel of the reason why you shouldn't be using these sunscreens. They're environmental toxins, and we know that they cause serious damage to marine life. So in addition to oxybenzone and those other chemical filters that I mentioned, there are other issues with conventional sunscreens as well. So many contain parabens and formaldehyde releasing chemicals like quaternium-15, dimethyl and the whole family of ureas, all of which are potential carcinogenic ingredients. The aerosol cans that are used for spray sunscreens often have chemical propellants that we end up inhaling. So in addition to the oxybenzone and the other chemicals we're absorbing through our skin, we're also breathing in all of those things too. In fact, a lot of them say right on the bottle that it's not recommended to use these on children, and it's for that reason. But that's the fine print that's on the can, and it's most often missed or ignored. So they are not to be used on children under 6 months, whereas you could use mineral sunscreens on infants because it doesn't penetrate their skin. Also, conventional chemical sunscreens, there's often artificial fragrances used. So unless there's some kind of third-party certification like EcoCert that guarantees that it's not synthetic, it's very likely that the fragrances contain phthalates, which are other endocrine disrupting chemicals that are used to prolong the fragrance in the product. So that's especially concerning when we're using a mist, because not only are we spraying ourselves, but probably everybody around us is breathing that in as well. So mineral sunscreens are far safer. They're not just safe for all ages, but they are also effective immediately for all ages, whereas chemical sunscreens require 15 to 20 minutes to become active. That's how long they take to soak into that first layer of the skin. So once they're applied, they soak into that first layer, and that takes 15 to 20 minutes. Mineral sunscreen, the second you put it on your skin, it's blocking UVA, UVB rays from your skin. Mineral sunscreens are typically reef friendly. You should always look for the claim on the package. They're biodegradable, and they cannot pass through the surface of the skin. They're designed to sit on the surface of the skin. So make sure you're checking your labels for what the active ingredient in your sunscreen is. There are some well-known natural brands that omit the oxybenzone, but they're still using avobenzone. So while avobenzone is certainly not as bad as oxybenzone, it's still an allergen, and there's still chemical contamination concerns with that ingredient. It's best just to avoid it altogether. There's just not as much data to back it all up that that avobenzone is not as damaging as oxybenzone. So if you prefer a sunscreen spray, I know I do. Mineral sunscreen sprays typically come in special spray canisters. It's called BOV, or bag on valve. So this is an acronym. So that allows them to not use the chemical propellants that you would typically find in a spray sunscreen, but they just use CO2, and there's a little bag that gets squeezed from the pressure. All Good and Derma E sunscreens, spray sunscreens, are my favorites. These brands are both all biodegradable, so they're safe for coral reefs, rivers, and lakes, and they're safe for people of all ages. Sunscreen sticks are really gaining popularity. They're especially great for kids, in my opinion, but they're good for all ages. I'll pick a darker one so you can see it better. This is the Attitude one here. So you can get kids to apply these themselves. They kind of like doing it, and it doubles as a touch-up stick for lips and noses and places where we often need to reapply a little more frequently. These are great for on the go as well as sport. They're small and compact and easy to carry. Also, it's not a liquid, so if you're traveling, this is a nice thing to travel with because you don't have to worry about the milliliters. The application of a stick tends to be slightly thicker, in my opinion, than a lotion or a spray, so it's great for physical activities or longer periods in the sun. All Good and Attitude both make great sunscreen sticks. They've got them for kids and for adults. All Good also makes a really great lip balm that's got an SPF in it. These are really lovely because the base of the lip balm is All Good's Goop, their healing balm, so it gives you a lot nicer texture than some of the other sunscreen lip balms that I've used. It goes on a little more smoothly, and it's got this lovely base of calendula oil and beeswax and nice kind of moisturizing ingredients. So sunscreen lotions are a classic format, of course, and if you've tried mineral ones in the past and been unhappy with that experience, it's definitely time to try again. So they are miles better than they used to be as companies work to develop better formulas. Zinc-based sunscreens, back in the day, they used to be pretty unpleasant to use. They could be thick and tacky and leave a white sheen on your skin. So with the increasing need for daily sunscreens, lots of companies have invested tons of time and energy into finding ways to make mineral sunscreen nicer to apply and use. So most companies are using a special kind of zinc now that is less whitening and can easily go on more clear when it's mixed with the right base and applied on hydrated skin. So if you're using a mineral sunscreen and you're still finding that it looks a little bit white on your skin, try applying a light moisturizer first and make sure that you rub the sunscreen in well. So take an extra 10, 20, 15 seconds or whatever to really rub it around. When your skin is a bit dry, the zinc tends to not spread quite as nicely. So having your skin be nice and hydrated and putting the sunscreen on, it's going to be a way better experience for you. So many natural sunscreens are not as water resistant for as long, so it's important to reapply. Both All Good and Derma E are water resistant up to 80 minutes, which is great. 80 minutes is kind of long, actually. Most mineral sunscreens are around the 40-minute mark. So both have a unique blend of botanical ingredients that allow it to stay on the skin a little bit longer, be a little bit more water resistant. All Good sunscreens are Leaping Bunny certified. They are, so that means that they're cruelty-free, they're non-GMO, they're gluten-free, and they're vegan. And they're made with All Good's signature organic calendula oil that they grow themselves on their very own farm. They did come out with a tinted sunscreen recently that I love. It's an SPF 30. It comes either in a tin, which is actually SPF 50, or the lotion, which looks just like this one, but it's blue. It's great. So you can use it on your face and body. The tint is very subtle, so it gives your skin like a nice healthy glow. And if you're a person with a darker skin tone, zinc shows up a little more on your skin than it does someone with a lighter skin tone. So a tinted one like this will probably be more to your liking. They also launched a beautiful new SPF 30 facial sunscreen that I adore. I use it all year, actually. It's really, really nice. It goes on very nice. It's not oily or thick. It's perfectly comfortable to wear under makeup. It doesn't like congest your skin or anything like that. Right now, it's my favorite facial sunscreen. So Attitude from Quebec also makes a great sunscreen line. So I've been showing you their sticks here. So these are really, really great products. They're EWG verified, which especially when it comes to sunscreen is great. So that's the Environmental Working Group. They publish their sunscreen report every year, and people really subscribe to the sunscreen report that they put out. This is the report that lots of people reference when they're buying safe sunscreens. So Attitude is guaranteed to get a gold star on the EWG sunscreen report. So their sunscreens are reef safe, they're vegan, and they're biodegradable. There are lots of options. So we have the sun sticks here, SPF 30 for adults and children, scented and unscented. And even, I think I have it here yet, the white one is a sensitive skin formula that's made with colloidal oatmeal. So this is my go-to for anyone who's maybe prone to eczema or any sort of dry skin condition. Love these. They also have tinted sticks as well. This is an SPF 30 one that's great for your face, and then they also have an SPF 15 one in their Oceanly category that's got more kind of fancy skin ingredients in it, meant for daily use, and it's an SPF 15, so it's a good one for all year, whereas the SPF 30 you would probably want more in these summer months where we're being exposed to more sun and for longer. So Derma E sunscreens have always been popular ones. They have improved their formulas this year for a silkier texture. So they've got a great SPF 30 sunscreen for kids and adults. They've got their SPF 30 oil-free facial sunscreen. That's this one here in the smaller box. This one has been a classic for years. It's been around for a long time. This is another great facial sunscreen that won't cause breakouts. It's not super shiny or oily like some of the other ones can be. And facial sunscreens really should be used all year, used year round. They help to prevent the signs of aging, and our faces tend to get burned a lot more often than anywhere else just because of the increased exposure. Plus, zinc is a skin soothing and healing mineral. That's why it's used in diaper cream. So it does more than just protect you from UVA and UVB damage. It also helps to promote healing in the skin. If you don't like using facial sunscreens, Derma E has thought of a solution for you. They also have a lovely SPF 30 mineral powder. So it's this lovely powder. It's got a slight tint to it. So it goes on the skin really, really nicely. It's got a very subtle color. It's great for daily use. It can be used on its own, or it can be applied over makeup. If you're not a makeup wearer, or if you're not wearing makeup, I recommend applying a light moisturizer before applying the powder. I just find it goes on really nice that way, and it kind of stays on really well. The product is only about this big, so it's totally pocket or purse size, which is great. So if you're out and about and you're sitting in the sun and feeling a little bit of a burn come on, you can just do a quick little once over, and it's a really, really lovely product. I don't have a product here, but Boo Bamboo is another great Canadian brand that makes mineral sunscreen. They offer sunscreen in lotions and sprays. The lotions are SPF 40, so if you're looking for something a little bit higher, that's a nice option for you. The sprays are an SPF 30, and both formats come in one for adults and one for kids and babies. Both of them are unscented, and they contain Boo Bamboo's signature bamboo extract, which is also great for hydrating and protecting your skin. So let's talk about SPF for a moment. I talk about this often, but it is worth repeating because it's kind of interesting, and it's just maybe something that not a lot of people understand. So the SPF number doesn't exactly translate to how strong it is. It's more of a tool to determine how long that sunscreen will protect you for. So to keep it simple, we'll use like a really basic example. So if my skin burns in full sun in about 10 minutes, I would look at my SPF 30 sunscreen and multiply my 10 minutes by this 30 SPF. So this product should protect me for 300 minutes before I need to reapply. So about 5 hours, and that's for a fair-skinned person. So most people would probably be maybe 15 or 20 minutes, so it would be longer. It's for this reason that anything over SPF 30 or 40 when it comes to mineral sunscreen, and it's pretty much all the same stuff. So the product just simply wouldn't stay on your skin much longer than that anyway. Between sweating and skin sloughing and contact with clothing and other things, that sunscreen is going to go away somehow. So even with chemical sunscreens, SPF 75 or 100 is kind of ridiculous. There's just no way that a sunscreen would stay on my skin for 16 hours, nor would I ever need it to. Another kind of fun fact about when to apply sunscreen and when to reapply is when your shadow is longer than you are tall, when you're outside, you don't need sunscreen protection anymore. That means that the UVA, UVB rays are not as strong as they were before. The sun is lower in the sky, and you don't need that sun protection any longer. All right, so before we finish up this video, I want to talk about one more topic, which is after sun care. So if you do get a burn, it happens to the best of us. Aloe is, of course, a time-tested remedy to reduce pain and inflammation and to speed up recovery and prevent or lessen peeling. So Landart's topical aloe gel, this guy here, this one's great. It's certified organic. It's made from freeze-dried aloe, and it's very pure and safe for all ages. So aloe is the star ingredient in here. It's a really, really kind of pure and basic formula. Plus Landart is a Canadian brand. They're from Montreal, which is great. So, and it's a nice size bottle, 240 grams for an organic product. Really, really nice. Another great option that's a little newer to the market is the Soothing Aloe Gel from All Good. So this one contains calendula, it's got hyaluronic acid, it's got olive oil and apple extract. So this one's more of an aloe-centric blend for your skin. So this one's got extra skin soothing and healing actions. And I especially like this one on my face. So it's a nice product to use all the time on your face, actually, but especially if you've had a little too much sun. It can help to promote healing and help slow or prevent sun damage and even the signs of aging. Another nice remedy for too much sun is floral water sprays, like the ones that come from Divine Essence, pardon me. All of them are healing to the skin, but my favorite choices for too much sun would be the Damask Rose or the True Lavender Floral Water. So both are really soothing and cooling and healing to the skin. The True Lavender is fortified with lavender essential oil, which is a traditional remedy for burns. So it's a really excellent product to have on hand all summer long. Plus, you know, when you get a burn and it's kind of hard to sleep at night because of the heat and the prickling, this product cools and soothes, and the lavender will also help you sleep. So it's kind of a win-win. And then another thing is that mosquitoes don't like lavender. So if you're out camping or you're outdoors or whatever, it's also a nice way to kind of lessen the attention from the mosquitoes while treating sunburn at the same time. So it's actually very common to have a skin reaction similar to an allergy when you have too much sun, even if you don't get visibly burned. So lots of people experience prickly skin or swelling or redness. Really nice remedy for that from Divine Essence is their Labrador Tea Floral Water. It's a great way to treat that. Labrador tea immediately takes the itch or irritation away. It works the second, like it works on contact. Plus it's very cooling to the skin. It's got a nice fresh herbal scent as well. And I love that one for itchy, irritated, and dry skin. Plus it's good for bug bites. All right, that's all for now. That is Sunscreen 101. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments and I will answer them. All right, we'll see you next time. Peace out.